Y'all jamming with me? It's in the evening hours for this special edition, episode 29 of Neighborhood Jams. Hey, Joe and Carla and Mark Claiborne, Jessica, Sharonda, Lucretia. Surely that's not who I think it is, but okay. Rachel Nichols, thank you all for joining in. Gonna make you blow your cat. And everything in money. Thank you while I'm getting set up here. I appreciate you guys joining me this evening. And I'm sorry again, I'm at basketball practice. My day is never ending. You probably wonder, when do you go to sleep, girl? I don't. Good sleep. Let's just be honest. Good sleep. Y'all join with me. It's a different time in the evening now. I so appreciate you guys for joining in. Hey, Charles, Karina, Jacqueline, Jackie, thank you all for tuning in. We jamming in the evening to Cameo. Where my 80s, 90s babies at? I love those. All right, so we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of this episode this evening. I'll make it very quick because I just want to get on here and share some information. So today's episode on Today with Neighborhood Jams with Sonny Pouncil, I'm definitely not so much as incognito, but I'm in my sports gear this afternoon after a busy day. So I do appreciate you all for joining me. I do apologize I didn't come in at 2 o'clock this afternoon. If you would believe my day was a madhouse, I literally was a firewoman putting out fires, multiple fires. So I do thank you all again for joining me. So I am remote at Coles Community Center as I'm here for my basketball practice tonight with my youth boys as we get ready for our next upcoming tournament. So yeah, this realtor never sleeps. I always have something going on. So again, I am a licensed realtor for the state of Oklahoma, have been for the last 5 years with a total of 10 years real estate experience, And pretty much what it is that I've wanted to take my panel or my education, if you will, to a platform on Facebook. So that's pretty much what birthed Neighborhood Jams with Sonny Pouncil. And pretty much I'm teaching lunch and learns throughout all of Oklahoma City. I am with Community Action. I'm also with Neighborhood Housing Services on their panel. I've created my own panel, so I actually go to different locations, churches, and talking to their congregation about home ownership, and not just home ownership, but also talking about credit and financing. We just got to talk about all those angles. And so no further ado, I'm going to kind of dive into this. And so again, thank you all for tuning in tonight. I do appreciate that. Make sure that if you are following me, and make sure to share, tag the comments that you're actually wanting to follow, so that each time I go live, you won't be missing any information. And so with that, I want to thank my sponsors for my podcast show. And so I want to thank Ms. Kristen Harris from Morningstar Storage, who's giving away 2 free months of Inside Unit. You'll get some boxes, a roll of tape, a cylinder lock with a Morningstar tote, and of course we're giving those items away. You have to share this video though, and it's not just this video, but the entire month for April. If you shared my Neighborhood Jams video, tag my name, and that way I can go and find your name and put you on my list so I can put your name in for the drawing for the opportunities with the sponsors. So again, thank my boys over at Social Solutions, the Dobolt brothers, for their giving away a 1-hour free certificate for studio recording. And there's also a special promo that they're giving, which is $199 special promo, 60-second video of your business. A great way to be targeted marketing to your audience. And then, of course, thank Victoria Huggins over at Studio 89 Massage. She's giving away a 1-hour free massage. Who doesn't need a massage these days? Thank you, Miss Joy Poteet at Enjoy Natural Hair, who also have a skincare line. So we're giving away this product, this set here. that is here. Thank you, Sharina Perry and the Utopia Wellness team for sponsoring with a giveaway of 2 of the 5 items that you see here. It's kind of giving a glare, and I'm trying to catch it just right. And so that way you can get 2 of the 5 products. Okay, so thank you, Utopia. And last but not least, thank you, Get Genius Academy, excuse me, with Ace Laveau, as they're giving away a trip for 2 for Las Vegas or Cancun. So that includes your room, board, and food. So all you have to do is share the video. Tag me in it. It costs you nothing to share. Oh, and don't let me forget, if you jammed with me last Thursday, I jammed with my good friend Donnell Cole, who's also throwing in a book, The Richest Man in Babylon. So I'm starting to kind of read that until we give it away. So no further ado, thank you to my sponsors. And tonight we're talking to sellers. It is a seller's market right now. Can I just tell you that? Last week I had an opportunity to meet a client or had a buyer who was actually, if you will, sorry, giving my directions to my son here. If you will, she actually was driving in the neighborhood that she was wanting, and she happened to see the listing agent put the sign in the yard. And before the agent could even get back to the office to literally put the listing in the MLS, which is for what us realtors use, we actually called, got in, saw the house, was ready to put in an offer, and went from 5:45 p.m. to 9:30 under contract, and the house hadn't even hit the market yet. So again, if you price your house just right and you have all your curb appeals done, all the maintenance and updates is done on the house, you should be able to get close to your full value. And if nothing else, sell it at a reasonable price. And I'm trying to educate, or wanting to educate my sellers, flip it. Okay, what I mean by flip it is that you may want to sell it higher and it sits on the market. Instead, flip it. What do you actually need? You know, after you pay off your mortgage and pay off the commissions and things of that nature, what do you actually need to do? I need you to go to the gym, baby, okay? There's a water fountain right there, okay? All right. But don't climb on the furniture, please. Thank you. You gotta love these babies. You just gotta love them. I'll become Medea here pretty soon, so sorry. Anyway, so basically what you want to do is you want to work from the bottom up. So you want to start with your payoff, the commissions, and it kind of around about what you want, and then sell the house. And I promise you, if you sell the house going backwards, you will end up having that house into a multiple bid war. Okay, the last thing you would need is to sell it up high and it sits on the market, and then you just sit there and let it just sit there and sit there and sit there. Instead, just reverse it. I promise you, it'd be well worth it. I saved some information for someone that actually had a property in the market for $2, and what they were doing was just setting the market, letting the market set itself. And so that sometimes become a thing that you can also do. So I did some research for my sellers, and I just wanted to take this time to educate. And I do apologize for trying to watch my little 4-year-old busy son who is just all over the place from time to time. So I do want to talk about the new study reveals surprising reasons for the inventory shortage. Okay, and this is material that I've done some research on, that there has been a great amount written of millennials on their impact on the housing market. So if you believe it or not, millennials, the ages from 24 or from 20 to 28, that age group, they are aggressive in purchasing homes. And you know what? I admire those age groups, because not only that, I was 26 when I first bought my first home. So how old were you when you first bought your first home? So kind of think of it that way. The headlines often contradict each other. So claim this generation is becoming the largest share of the first-time homeowners. I mean, how awesome is that? I mean, who wouldn't be 26 years old purchasing their first home? They're out there, and so that's what they're kind of wanting to do, and that's a good thing. So while others claim millennials don't want to own a home, blaming them for the dip in home ownership rate, they are high in the market. Millennials is one of the number one buyers in the country. Yes, Kelly, just like his daddy, busy. And that's why I got him in there in the gym. He's 4 years old, 5, getting ready to get him started with some type of sports, because that child needs something to do. And of course, you already know Uncle Kelly, so thank you. Millennials haven't achieved milestones like getting married, having kids, and buying homes later in life than their parents and grandparents did. So if you can kind of imagine, You know, when we were growing up, our moms didn't educate us on home ownership and what it took to actually buy. And let's just be honest, in schools, they took that out. We used to have wood shops. We used to have economics. We should have the cooking class. We used to have, the sewing class back in the day, in my mom's school's time frame. We need those kind of things to come back to schools so that we can educate these young youth people on what they need to do. And we'll probably have a lot more millennials become homeowners. And so it's a great way to see these millennials doing different things that we didn't even do, or our parents didn't even do. And so that's why we try to take that extra step to educate, the buying industry as well as everyone. And so, even more like today, when I had my lunch and learns, we were talking about the credit and finance. We can't talk about home ownership. We can't talk about anything until we talk about credit and financing. And that's so important. So anyway, if millennials are unable to find a home to buy at a young age at their predecessors, they run around. Excuse me, you guys. C4, I need you to stay in the gym, son. Okay? No, I don't want you leaving out of the gym. You are to stay in the gym. Sorry, guys. So the answer is seniors born after 1939 are staying in their homes longer than previous generations instead of choosing age and place. And let's believe it or not, that's kind of like with my grandmother or great grandmother. They're still in those houses that they bought, and which holds some value to it. So if you have a family member, and I had a client that reached out to me and said, hey, we're thinking about selling my grandma's house, but I don't really want to sell it. What can I do? So reach out if you have some questions. I'd rather you have your information, have your ducks in a row, than the second guess and trying to figure out, well, what is this home worth? Can I really sell it for this amount? Okay. So bottom line, if you are one of the many seniors who desires to retire in the same area you'll always lived, you're not alone. Will your current house fit your needs throughout retirement? It's possible. So some people buy homes that are actually going to retire in those homes. And then, of course, there's several different programs that can show you to how you can pay your house off in a shorter time frame if you're still as a seller in your home. So that was some helpful information, as well as, stating that we still currently have a 3.5 month supply of homes. So again, that's why I was just sharing that very scenario at the very beginning, how homes are not staying on the market well. And so again, sellers selling your house, and here's why you need to have a pro in your corner. Okay. There's so many sellers that want to take their home and sell it themselves, and we call those FSBOs, or for sale by owners. And generally, again, I'm gonna refer back to my lunch and learn that I had earlier today, as I had a title representative there. It was rather interesting to hear him say, as a title company, if a for sale by owner comes to us with a contract, we're going to charge them more to do the contract, to do the closing. So it pays, if you're wanting to sell your house, it pays for you to have a real estate agent in your corner. Someone that's knowledgeable, someone that's team you, that's going to take care of the sale of your transaction. We do a lot of range of things when it comes to a real estate agent. If you think of us in the middle of the pie, we have all these different arms and legs and things that we do, and we have all these things that's up in the air. So not only do we work with you as the seller to list your house, but we host open houses. We market your property. We negotiate on your behalf with your approval, of course. We negotiate the numbers with your buyers that are coming in with another listing agent, or if that agent got a buyer for that property. So not only do we negotiate, we schedule up your home inspections, and we work with the appraisers, all on the seller side. Now, as far as the inspections, and I'll stop right there, the inspections are on the buyer side, so that's at a buyer's expense. Sellers will not have a home inspection. Now, I will share with you this. I jammed a couple of weeks back with a home inspector, and there's a lot of things that he did cover in his home inspection. So if there's ever a time that you want to sell your home and you want to find out what's going on, definitely get with the home inspector, so that way they can go in and analyze and see what's safe. Because those home inspectors are going to tell you what's working, what's not working. This door is not closing correctly. That window doesn't hold, or it doesn't have a lock or anything like that. So those things are so important. And then a couple of weeks back, I also shared with you guys the spring up cleaning for your home. So it helps to keep your house, in great maintenance. It's one thing to say, okay, well, I'm just going to sell this house, and, my AC is not working, or the window is cracked over here, or the garage door doesn't have sensors on it. So anytime you have that, Those are things that are considered to be an issue for the actual buyer that's coming in. So that inspector is going to pick that, and at some point that buyer may ask for those items to be repaired. Now, let's flip that. You may have a house that you don't want to do nothing to it. You want to sell it as is. That's perfectly fine. But do take in consideration that if there are some updates that needs to be done, you can't go and sell it for what you would like to sell it for. You need to have it at a discount price. No different than if you went to a Goodwill store and bought clothes, you want it at a discount price. Otherwise, you could have went to the mall, to New York and Company and bought your outfit. So those are kind of the difference, and similar to what it is when you purchase a home or when you sell a home. Okay. So with home prices on a rise and buyer demand still strong, some sellers may have attempt to try. And this is to sell their homes on their own rather than using the services of a real estate professional. So it's so important to realize and understand that you need to have someone in your corner. No, sir. You need to have someone in your corner that will definitely do the market value analysis for your home, and that will also make sure that they're getting you the best bang for your buck when it's time to negotiate. A real estate agents are trained and experienced in negotiating, while in most cases the seller is not. So this is why the title company wants to know C4. That's exactly why the title company, excuse me, you guys. And then you see why I do this during the day. So I apologize. But anyway, so when you're as a seller, if you're ever considering wanting to sell your home, it's okay for you to sell it as a FSBO, but let me explain something to you. You have to consider that the title companies are going to charge extra because they don't have the expertise that us real estate agents have when it comes to negotiating a contract. So as he mentioned earlier today, he being the title rep, you know, some sellers or the buyers will say, well, hey, I didn't know about this in the contract. Why didn't you share this with me? Then they're going to look at you and say, well, this is not our expertise. So that's why they would charge a little bit more. So you want to go ahead and hire your real estate agent. Now, I wouldn't typically like to say we like to negotiate our contract, our commission. And there has even been some information surfacing from National Association of Realtors where it's been a lawsuit or a some kind of situation that's going on in California where sellers are starting to complain about paying commission on both sides of the transaction. So don't be surprised if you're starting to get wind of that or you're starting to see that. I'm really curious to see how that's going to strengthen or straighten out that buyer not having to pay for their real estate agent. That's going to be really tricky. I'm kind of wanting to see how they're going to structure the laws pertaining to that. But that's one of the things that I want to make sure that you're aware of. As you're being the seller, you have the product to sell. So therefore, that's why you would, boy, I tell y'all, Medea's going to come out in about 2 seconds. Y'all going to see me on 4, 5, and 9. I'm just saying, listen at you, Joy, handle your business. I mean, you know, I'm a new mama, but I have a zero tolerance and I do believe in respect. I would turn out to be a good kid. I got my butt spanked. I don't know about y'all, but I mean, I've seen the switch, the sticks, the one they told you go get the tree and clean the leaves off. Yeah, I didn't went through all that. So, you know, I told my son, you got to understand, you haven't gotten to that point yet, but don't make it happen. All right. But anyway, so that's why it helps to work with your sellers and work with your real estate agent to help you sell your house. And of course, that comes with good market analysis because let's be real. Some sellers want to sell their house higher than what's being sold in your market area. And you have to realize and keep and count that you need to keep your sales price within what's selling in the area and usually within the neighborhood that the appraisers are looking for. So kind of keep that in mind when you start looking at other ways that, you know, how can I sell my house? I need to make sure, then don't go $10,000, $20,000 above what's selling in your area. You definitely want to make sure that you're covering what's sold in your area, in your own neighborhood. And sometimes they may even go up to 1 to 3 miles, okay? So real estate agents are trained and experienced in negotiating while in most cases the seller is not. Sellers must realize that their ability to negotiate will determine whether or not they get the best deal for themselves and families, okay? Here's a list of just some of the people with whom the seller must be prepared to negotiate if they decide for sale by owner. Excuse me just a second. Okay, sorry. He was all the way down there, almost outside. Sit down. Sit. So, the buyer who wants, so we were going over the list, and the list is people with whom the seller must prepare to negotiate if they decide to do a FSBO. So this is going to be good information for you. The buyer who wants the best possible deal. Okay, that you have your house sold for 150,000, that buyer's supposed to come in at 120, 110, 115. So they're trying to get the best deal from you without even negotiating. The buyer's agent who solely represents the best interests of the buyer. Most times I have my clients that wants to look at a for sale by owner. Well, the first thing I'm asking the for sale by owner is, how do you feel about working with the real estate agent, the buyer's agent? And are you okay with paying a 3%? If you saw my post last week, I had a client that she liked the FSBO, but the FSBO person, I mean, it took him an act of Congress to get me an offer. We submitted the contract on a Saturday. It was well over to a week and a couple of days later before he even decided to start entertaining our offer. If you're in the business to sell the house, sell the house. Sometimes sellers have so much emotion, contact, or connection with that home, they don't want to let it go. Meaning, I have somebody that's supposed to come through my house, so I don't feel comfortable about that. Those are some of the things that are normal when you get ready to sell your house. A listing agent or a buyer's agent is going to actually come with their buyer to review your home. Make sure you put away all your personal items. That is the number one thing that we educate our sellers on. You don't want your pictures up unless you're ready to actually move. And we call those stages pre-pack stages. Okay, let's pre-pack, get a few things that's personal out of the way, because we don't want someone to come in to know that that's your house and now they're ready to, do whatever they want to do. So we want to make sure we protect the sellers. And so that's why we ask the sellers to pre-pack by taking away the personal items. Okay. The buyer's attorney in some parts of the country, that may be something that a for sale by owner has to work with. And so with our real estate, we actually have, our people that over review our contracts. And so a title company insurance, the title company also has attorneys that review their contracts, and just to make sure everybody's on point. So that's why it's always best. You could probably sell your house and sell it yourself, but it would be in your best interest to hire a real estate professional. And if you're looking for one, I would love to work with you. I would love to educate you on what you would need to do and what you would not need to do to sell your home. I did share with you a good home inspection. Companies which work for the buyer and will almost always find some problems with the house. So if you're a FSBO and you're working with a buyer and they have a home inspection done, now you're having to negotiate that information. And some people want to be in the best seat to do that themselves. But if you don't have that experience and that knowledge, let's just be real. It's best for you to utilize a professional to do it. And I'll share a scenario with you. When you're ready to take professional pictures, are you going to take them yourself, or you want to go somewhere and have a professional photographer do them? No different. If you're going to have your hair done, are you going to go do it yourself, or are you going to pay a beautician to do your hair? Same results. If you have a car that you have a mechanic that needs to fix your vehicle, are you going to do it yourself, or are you going to hire a professional auto mechanic to fix your vehicle? So these are kind of the same similar things. You get somebody that you are going to compensate their services to be knowledgeable on what needs to happen to take place to sell your home. So it always helps to have your home in curb appeal and top condition as well as you possibly can. Make sure that you are staying up to date on the maintenance and updates. Just like a home, when it's brand new built, and over time, as it has gone through with the weather and the duration of all the things that we go through in our everyday weather, okay? So your home ages just like you do over time. When you get older and older and older, some of your bones start deteriorating, some of the muscles start giving out. Same thing with a home. But if you're not staying on top of those mechanics or the maintenance of your home, now those things become a bigger issue. So you don't want those bigger issues to become something so small and minute. And reason being is that if you see cracks, in your caulking around the windows, caulk your windows. That will cut your utility bills down tremendously because you're not having those little small cracks of your windows seeping out. So just kind of keep those kind of things in mind. Those are some of the little small things. And I've always educated the sellers, paint will carry a long ways, okay? The termite company, if there's ever any challenges, these are things that FSBOs have to work on, okay, and negotiate. The buyer's lender, if the structure of the mortgage requires the seller's participation, I mean, let's be honest, we don't want to have to go through all that. So when you're trying to sell your home, you've got to sell your home. You don't have time to go through all this stuff when you could actually have a real estate agent to do all that negotiating for you. So it's so important if you're considering selling your home, get you a real estate agent that is professional enough and savvy enough, and do your due diligence. Research that real estate agent. Make sure there's no complaints against them. Make sure you can locate them. Okay, there are some real estate agents that are out here and they don't even have a website. I'm not sure why you wouldn't have a website. I have 2 websites, and really 3 if you think about Neighborhood Jams. And so it's one of those that I like to keep it educated. If you need a CO permits mentioned above, the buyer's buyer in case there are challenges with the house your buyer is selling. So the bottom line is this: the percentage of sellers who have hired real estate agents to sell their homes has increased steadily over the last 20 years. Meet with a professional in your local market to see the difference that he or she can make for you during selling your process. That is so important. And again, if you have questions, I have booklets and other information to help you to make the decision if this is the right time for you to sell. And as I've mentioned, this is a seller's market. Houses are not staying on the market long at all. So if you are considering, please make sure you connect with someone. I would love to work with you. You can reach me at 405-201-4241. You can also find me on Facebook under Sunny Pouncil or Your Unique Home, which is the letter U, the letter R, Unique Home. And you can also find me on Neighborhood Jams with Sunny Pouncil. So this is episode 29. And so I surely appreciate you guys' support. So before we get out of here, because I'm right at that 30-minute mark, and my son is still running around here freely, because he know I'm busy and occupied. Let's read the Daily Motivator. I want to leave you with this. Step back from the frenzy. I've been frenzied, haven't I? Much of what feels so urgent right now, you won't even remember tomorrow. Step back from the frenzy and enjoy some perspective. The news headlines screech and scream, but there's nothing new about them. The real news is that life carries on. It's wonder and beauty, endless unfolding. Take a moment, take a breath, and experience the miracle of existence, of awareness. Think of all the good choices you have and how many more there must be that you've never even thought to consider. Most of what demands your attention doesn't deserve it. Ease away from all that and see the deep beauty in what you've lately forgotten to notice. You put great effort into being able to live a good life. Remember yourself to fill its moments with substance, with meaning, with what's real, with what matters to you. Feel good about this moment simply because it is, because you are here to live it. And you'll find plenty of worthwhile, fulfilling things to do with it. Wow, I needed that. Now, that did match for me. Thank you, Jesus, for giving me this daily motivation. So I hope that encouraged you. I want to give a shout out to all of you, my viewers, for stepping in. I see my brothers in here. I see Miss Laura Beasley, Elizabeth. I see a ton of you guys out there. I just don't see you on my screen. Tashika Burris and Kim, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I so appreciate the love and support. So thank again my sponsors. Again, I'm giving away a 2-month free any size units with some boxes. Have a rollaway tape and a cylinder lock with a tote. So it is a nice little package, and those totes are really cute. So thank you, Kristen Harris over at Morningstar Storage. And I also got to thank my DeBolt brothers over at Social Solutions for a 1-hour free studio recording time, as well as a $199 social promo. It's a 30-60-second video. I can't wait to share you with mine because I get mine recorded next week. So I'm excited about that. Who doesn't need a massage? Thank you, Victoria Huggins, for giving away a 1 hour free massage. And who would need that? Not last, but next we have Miss Joy Poteet from Enjoy Natural hair care product and skincare. We so thank you, beautiful, for sharing and giving away your products. And of course, if you have natural hair, that'd be one you need to go check out. I will share with you. I'm going to have to get my mom on here live. She may not be nervous, but I want to share with you a product that she used, which is this salve right here. For her knee that was in arthritis. If you've been watching and keeping comments of her, she's been in some discomfort, but she has told me today it's kind of got her to where she can do some walking. So it's not really healing, but it was something that helped her with her pain. And so Sharina Perry and Utopia Wellness Group, thank you so much for this item and these 2 items out of the 5. Okay, and it's hemp products as well. Okay. And then let me go ahead and thank Get Genius at Academy for their trip for 2 to Las Vegas or Cancun. That includes room, board, and food. So all you have to do is get your transportation to and from. And then, of course, Donnell Cole, my good friend, is giving away The Richest Man in Babylon from George S. Clash. So thank you guys again for tuning in. And I'm going to get this music going here as we're going to jam to Cameo with Candy. How about that? We're going to taste like candy on Sunday. Tuning into this special edition, episode 29 of Neighborhood Jams with Sonny's Council. And I'll be right back here Tuesday of next week with some more random conversations. If there's something you would like for me to cover, inbox me. I would love to talk about it for you. Even when you talk, it takes all me. Where's my Cameo fans at? Where you guys at? I know y'all out there. Them 80s, 90s babies. Famous movie I like this from was Best Men. That was a good movie. Oh. So this realtor is busy and on the move as I end the night out at basketball practice. I got another hour. So, whew, yeah, we're getting it in. But God gets the glory. So. The stuff is starting now. The stuff is starting now. The stuff is starting now. Hey, I toss a turn in my bed. Yes, I do. Please make sure you're following me on Facebook. Please make sure you go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would love to get all your support. And just thank you so much for tuning in, and tune in to me next Thursday as I'm jamming. I'm scheduled for a closing at 10 a.m. So I'm going to try to make that 10:30. I may go live right there from the closing table so that way you can meet my builder. Awesome guy. If you're looking to market for a brand new home, I got some builders for you. So I do thank you all for tuning in and so well appreciated. So again, follow me on Facebook, follow me on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Be sure to get yourself notifications so that when I go live, you're in tune. And I so appreciate your time and being with me this evening. I'm going to end off from here with Cameo, and we're going to have that candy, y'all. Look real nice, wrapped up. Hey, Yvonne. Hope all is well with you, beautiful. Thank you so much, Miss Laura Beasley. I appreciate you, beautiful. Just doing this to keep you guys informed. That's what this podcast is all about. It's keep you all in tune with what's going on. And I like to jam in the process. So we jam in the middle and we jam at the end. So thank you all. You all have a blessed weekend. I know it's the the marathon that's going on this weekend. So you guys make sure you get up and run for that as we celebrate our April 19th, as we remember those that lost their life on April 19th. Was it 1995 or so? Can't remember. It was very bad here from Oklahoma bombing. All right, you guys, that's my time. Have a good evening and a great weekend, and be good and be kind to each other. And I love you.